So picture this. You just had a long day going through Akihabara, and you're looking for somewhere to just chill out. You need to find Ueno, which you can see up in the top corner up there. We're going to be talking about. I'm Faye, and this is how I plan for my trip to Japan. Today is day 90. We have been doing this for approximately 3 months, give or take a day or two, and we're going to go through everything in the next couple of days to consolidate down. But before we get into it, we're going to have a look into Meiji, and we're going to have a look at something to do with medication, which seems to be something I talk about a lot around here. So, Meiji Jingu is a Shinto shrine in Shibuya, and it is the big calling point for anyone that is not into the more nerdy otaku-y things in Japan. Well, in Shibuya. It is a huge shrine, and it is absolutely stunning, especially if you can get there in the right time of year. I don't know what else to really say. It is what you want for a proper Japanese cultural experience. I am tripping over my words like nothing else. But this is the quintessential Tokyo shrine. And if you are in Shibuya and you're trying to get the Japanese culture, take an hour or two off of your I'm looking at my weeby shit, go check out the shrines. I know we've been told over and over and over, Kyoto is the shrine temple. That doesn't mean you shouldn't also pay homage in every way. It's like being in Australia and not giving some kind of presence to the land you're on. Now, I got asked today in a comment to a previous video, why is Japan so strict on our ADHD medication? And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, a lot of Asian countries, Japan included, don't like to admit that ADHD is a real thing, which is a terrible thing, but unfortunately it is something that is only slowly coming around. Eventually they will see what it's like and realize, hey, half the people in this country probably have it. 100% of the tourists probably have it. But that's neither here nor there. I didn't know until today what the deal with it was. So I went looking. And it's because of World War II. During World War II, most of the Axis forces and a little bit of the Allied forces were on amphetamines. Just plain and simple. They used it because they were doing 16, 20-hour days. And you can't do that consistently without a little bit of a bump. So they gave amphetamines out by the dozens, and that led to a bit of a problem after the war finished, and they still had people wanting to take those drugs. Now, the problem came when they started trying to crack down. Because they tried to crack down a little bit, and then they tried to crack down hard. To this day, if you are caught with amphetamines in the country, if you try and bring amphetamines into the country, it is up to $1,000 fine, up to 5 years in jail. Which, those two things do not add up. Sorry, I should say 100,000 yen, but that's approximately 1,000 Australian dollars. I know it's usually 100 to 1 US, but the yen's been crashing. Not honestly complaining too much as a traveler. But they now only allow amphetamines to be used in hospitals and other medical practices or in research situations. The only other place that you're allowed to have amphetamines apart from those two and the transport to them is the actual production companies. And even then, they are few and far between because don't really need too much if we're just researching them and giving them in hospitals. Because you can't be prescribed them to take home. Because that's illegal. You also can't export, import, or just carry them around. Yeah. there is a whole list of amphetamines. If, as I told the person in that comment, if you are on some form of Dex, some kind of Vyvanse, some kind of Adderall for those in America, talk to your doctors. You might be able to do a temporary prescription for Ritalin or Concerta, or I'm sorry, I don't know if there is another version of that for other countries. Now for our nice, calm, relaxing place for our days in Akihabara, which is Wano. Wano, and I know this photo does not show it very well. Wano is basically the next suburb over from Akihabara, and it is delightful. Not because there's less people, not because there's more shops, but because there are just some places here that you can just go and chill out. There are some places that are also just sad. But we have some really nice lakefront areas. Even when the sakuras aren't blooming, it's still a nice place to be able to get away from people, because if you're going through Akihabara, you're going to end up wanting to get away from people in the end. That's just how life is. Now, the problem is, Japan's oldest zoo. Old zoos, no matter what country they're in, are depressing as shit because of things like this. Tiny ass enclosures for such large, majestic animals. It's not okay, and it happens. It happens in every country you go to. It's why I much prefer things like, in Australia, we have Western Plains Zoo, which is almost to the point of being like an open-air sanctuary for animals, as opposed to enclosures. Enclosures, bad. Open-air, good. And I know these are also technically open-air, but it's more like you're going on a safari. I love the fact that this place started out as a black market. I am terrified to accidentally step into that black market because, look, with my luck, it seems like the kind of thing that would happen. But going down this road in particular, I cannot remember what it is called, but it is your main street. The Amiyakocho Mall, I believe. They have a lot of open-air eateries, so you can come out and sit out the front, have a drink. It's one of the only times you can actually drink in front of people in public. Have a feed, go to yakitori, and yeah, just enjoy a little bit of the nightlife. The other thing is our museum, which they have Tokyo's World History Museum and Natural History Museum, which means they have Tokyo's dinosaurs. And I'll be honest, for that alone, it's not on the list. But that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed my ranting. I hope the audio is better. I have seen the feedback. I am sorry that some of the audio has been a bit down. I have upped the noise, the audio gain, and from what I can tell, it is significantly better. I am now terrified that I'm going to be peaking though. So if you see anything like that, let me know down below. But if you're enjoying this, give us a thumbs up, hit that sub button, turn on that noti bell. And yeah, I've been Faye, you've been awesome, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Happy New Year.